Thank you very much, Stephen Imbida. If members of the public do not adhere to the standard operating procedures, I'm telling you for a fact, Morning at NTV actually did give recommendations on how we can avoid a second lockdown. But many of the individuals negated or neglected many of those guidelines, and we did have a second lockdown taking center stage. So right now, Morning at NTV is saying this is largely banking on behavioral change. Please, wear a face mask, social distancing, so that we do not go back into this third lockdown or calling for or summoning a third wave. I have Ivan Walinyolo, who is in Entebbe, talking about the Fisheries Protection Unit and reopening of that landing site. A very good morning, Ivan Walinyolo. What's the latest?
Well, thank you very much. I am joining you from Kigungu landing site in Entebbe Municipality, Wakiso District, on a day when the Fisheries Protection Unit has let the fishermen go back to the lake to fish after an unfortunate incident that happened on 14th of July when one of their officers was allegedly strangled by the fishermen in an operation on the lake. Of course, the fishing had been halted in different landing sites here in Kigungu, pending regulation, new and fresh regulations, both from the Fisheries Protection Unit and the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries that also had to put new regulations, especially on registration and identifying these fishermen on who does what, among others. But of course, as they have been led to go back to fish, out of over 1,000 fishermen, only 69 have been allowed to go back. There is a question. Where are the rest of the fishermen going to be finding what to feed their families? But this time I'm joined by two of the officers, and Major Yero Muhozi is the political commissar for the Fisheries Protection Unit. On the other side, I'm also joined by Innocent Mugabe, who is an inspector in the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, to just make us understand what this whole process means and what have they learned out of it. I'll quickly start with the political commissar of the Fisheries Protection Unit, Major Yero Muhozi, to make us understand how many of the fishermen have you let to go back to the lake?
Thank you, Ivan. 69 fishermen, as you have said, have been allowed to go back into the lake after a verification exercise, which was aimed at licenses, looking at them acquiring both number plates, ensuring that the fishing gear they have is legal, and that's what we are looking at.
Now, I found if you have only let 69 people out of over 1,000 people who have been depending on this lake, where are the rest? Why do you think the rest are going to be finding what to feed their families?
The process has not stopped. We unrolled it phase by phase, and this is the first phase. We are still going on with the registration, and the ministry is open. They were told or taught to go and look for those documents and come back and get cleared. So the process is still ongoing.
Okay, so, let me hold you there. Let me engage the Fisheries Inspector, Innocent Mugabe from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. What was the criteria for having only 69 people return to the lake for fishing?
The criteria was that we had to look at the license, which is a requirement for every person before you go to fish you should have. And we also look at the size of the boat, whether it was legal or not. And also, we're also checking on their details in terms of the particulars. Are they aligned with our registers that we have? Because you know very well that fishermen do move from one point to another. So we wanted to verify, and that's what we were doing.
Innocent, the State Minister for Fisheries was here last time and was saying this landing site is not gazetted. Why did you have to wait for such a time, some unfortunate time when one of the Fisheries Protection Unit officers, had to fall into this that happened and called for, that you had to also respond by registering these fishermen? Why did you have to wait for this as a ministry?
No, I don't think we were waiting. We had started the process. We had started with other areas. But of course, when that incident happened, it had to call for our attention. And therefore we came and we did the whole comprehensive assessment of this area. And we are still on. We are not yet in conclusion of that.
Innocent, if you have only 69 people out of 1,000, and we know this came at a pay, we don't know how much people are paying, And what indication does it mean? These people have been in, look, they were halted from fishing and they're supposed to pay some money. Where do you think these people are getting money? And is it not called for the ministry this time to have, having to charge them when they have not been working?
No, that is not true. They have been working before. What we normally did was just to stop them and we check. And you can, as you can see, they have already started working. They have started already going back to do fishing. They have been working all along. This was just for a week, and it is on.
We understand this is one of the landing sites that are not registered in the ministry. And we know it's not only this one, there are many others. What are you doing as a ministry to regulate this and having it come to a leveled ground that you can have a proper engagement with the fishing community?
No, you can see even now we have started. This will continue to other areas, and we are on. But what I can tell you is that our fishermen, they normally do that. So it is something which started on to work on, and we have been working on it. But as you know, fishermen, they keep on doing the same device. But we shall continue as though we have started here.
How much money were they paying for registration and license before you let them go back to the lake?
By law, they are required to pay 100,000 per boat annually, and that's what they have been doing. Plus the fishmongers, the crew that they use to fish, each are paying 25,000 annually. That is by law, and that's what they have been paying the bank.
Well, let me get back to the political commissar in the Fisheries Protection Unit. What happened teach you? What lesson does it give? What image does it give between the fishing community and the Fisheries Protection Unit?
Thank you. The incident that happened and the exercise that we have conducted has taught us that we need to go to other areas and enforce. In this exercise, we have realized that very many have been fishing without paying licenses. Secondly, it has taught us that we need to come back to the communities, sensitize them, be closer to them, teach them about the best fishing practices, the right equipment to use on water, and the general discipline.
The allegations that your officers at a certain point or some occasions enforce operations when they're not in uniform, and it becomes difficult for the fishing community to identify that this is an officer who is on operation, and sometimes there are hurdles. What is the procedure for carrying out operations on the lake?
All enforcement officers are supposed to be on uniform. I regard that as untrue, and I call upon any member of the public to inform our headquarters in case he comes across any operative not in uniform. But I don't think it's true.
I turn to Innocent Mugabe. When will this exercise end? And what is the major challenge that people are not affording to have a clearance from you that they return to the lake?
The challenge will have to go on until the end of the year. It is on. And the major challenge is that the fishermen, they don't want to do their responsibility.
But they don't have money. They say they have not been working, so they're unable to pay for your license.
I don't think that is true, because that is not true. If there was no money, they would not be fighting to go back to fish. But we know very well that fishing, at least they cannot fail to raise 100,000, and that's why actually by law it was put that they should pay 100,000. They had in mind that they were able to pay that money.
Well, for time purposes, we'll leave it there. But gentlemen, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Well, the two gentlemen, the political commissar in the Fisheries Protection Unit, Major Yero Muhozi, and on the other side, the Fisheries Inspector Innocent Mugabe from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and the Fisheries, just making us understand in as far as how the Kigungu incident, the unfortunate one, where one of the Fisheries Protection Unit officer on 14th of July was allegedly strangled by the fishermen in an operation that was carried out on the lake, and the fishing activities had to be halted. But this time the fishermen have been led back to go and fish on the lake. We wait for what transpires, and the Morning at 10 TV will now continue from me here in Kigungu back to you in the studios. A very good morning to you and our audience.